Hi, it's Jeff.
And Denise from Mousesteps.com.
And this is episode number 229.
229.
Of Mousesteps Weekly.
Sponsored by MEI Travel. So much is going on at Disney World and Disneyland, so it's time to start thinking about your next trip. Sorry about my voice. Hopefully I get to keep it for the whole show.
Yes, yes.
But anyway, there's all kinds of attractions, including an unexpected one that we found this past week at Disney's Hollywood Studios.
Oh, yes, that was a tremendous surprise.
And MEI Travel can help you. They have 80 agents, and they know all about all the parks.
Check them out for all your travel needs. We're going to start this show with Disney's Hollywood Studios. We went for the brand new kind of surprise not fireworks, but a projection show. We'll talk about that later. But first, when we were there, we happened to see in One Man's Dream, they had a Cars 3 display.
Right. They're doing a preview there. Just how they do previews all the time now for upcoming movies. So this reminds me of when they used to have in the animation building the different artwork, the concept art, the maquettes. This isn't as big of a display, but it's actually got quite a bit of artwork and 3 maquettes here. So I thought that was really nice.
Right, and they even have a little display of older maquettes from some of those old displays that we talked about. I found it very nostalgic. It kind of took me back to the days of having the animation building in there.
And Cars 3 is coming out on June 16th, so it's really fun to kind of we didn't see this preview, but we've seen like 3 previews already. So it's okay that we missed this one, but it's kind of fun just to kind of get to know some of the characters. You've got the Jackson Storm and the Cruise, and of course Lightning McQueen's in it. I don't know if Tow Mater's in it at all. I don't remember.
I think he's in it. No, I know for sure he's in it because I remember in the preview we saw him.
If he is, not to the same extent.
Right, it's not his movie, sort of like Cars 2 was.
Right, it's Lightning McQueen's movie, and then Jackson and Cruise, kind of them all together, and you can see Cruise there. And here are some more maquettes.
Yeah, see, I was telling you, these are some of the old maquettes that we saw back in the old... Now it's, what did they change that to?
The Star Wars launch bay.
Of course, how could it? The Star Wars launch bay. Very true. So, and we have a friend who is a sculptor, actually, so we've learned a lot about these things over the years.
And I just have always enjoyed, we've been posting about the display since about 2009, and that was about 8 years ago, around the time of Up, I think.
So also, while we were there at Disney's Hollywood Studios, we saw these new Toy Story Land wall displays.
Right. Well, this is supposed to be the entrance to Toy Story Land. Mm-hmm. I don't really know how the Pixar place is going to shake out as far as if they're going to remove that sign or not.
And I think that sign will be removed or perhaps moved because you're going to enter Midway Mania from the other side of the building, from, Toy Story Land. So it's going to sort of put everything on the other side, of the reverse walls of that building.
I can't even imagine what that would look like. I mean, it'll be very odd.
Yeah, it'll be interesting, that's for sure. And this is the actual entrance. This is where the legend of Jack Sparrow, I believe, was off to the right there. And also the studio, I guess it eventually was the tram tour, but then you would take the tram tour and have a walking tour, and that was right up there. You'd look out the sound stages and all that.
So here is the artwork for Toy Story Land, and I just think it looks really cool, and I'm looking forward to hopefully 2018 seeing how it turns out.
And there's a couple of attractions, I guess, coming in there.
Right, Slinky Dog Dash, which is a roller coaster, and we've seen the track from above. And alien swirling saucers.
And that alien swirling saucer looks very much like Mater's Junkyard Jamboree in Cars Land, so I can't wait for all that. Anyway, the real reason we are here is Disney Movie Magic, a new projection show. And this came up out of nowhere. Maybe an hour or two before the premiere showing of it, word got out online. We could not make it, but this is night number 2. And of course, we got there early and did the best we could to record it.
And this is in addition to the Star Wars Galactic
Spectacular,
right? So this played first, and it really makes very good use of the Chinese theater.
Right. It's mostly live action, but it's very, very nostalgic. I mean, we were just talking about the old days of the Disney MGM studios, and this really reminds me of those days, sort of like the old fireworks show they used to have there.
The only downside is not so many guests can see it like can see Cinderella Castle. So you want to show up early and get a good spot to stand. You won't really see so much if you're sitting down. I think everybody has to stand anyway.
Right. Well, even more so because there are no fireworks. There are lasers and there are some, added effects. But really, it's a projection show. So you're very right. If you are not in this general area, you won't be able to see.
Well, you can see a little off to the side, but as we say with the Star Wars Galactic Spectacular, really this where we were is the best place to see it.
I do like this transition. We're going from Pirates of the Caribbean, and then you see a snake there, and a snake could only mean one thing. Indiana Jones.
I was going to say Frozen, but
Down
I guess
plane.
not. No Frozen. There's no Frozen.
There is no Frozen whatsoever in this show. So, and Tron, who would have thought Tron was going to be part of the show?
I did because we saw the night one
Before
online.
That,
no, I don't know.
You didn't. You had no
I didn't
idea.
know there was a show before that. So, but the biggest applause was for Guardians of the Galaxy.
Right. Oh, yeah. Guardians of the Galaxy. I think that's coming up next. Oh, no. That's
Doctor
Strange.
Strange.
Can't forget about Doctor Strange. But then Guardians. And, of course, they feature Baby Groot.
Right, because Baby Groot is so much cuter than adult Groot. Though you can meet both of them, coast to coast, which is pretty awesome.
That's right. And while we were here, we met Baby Groot once again, and of course Star-Lord. But if you go to Disneyland, like we talked about last week, you can meet the adult version of Groot.
Well, and in like 6 weeks, we'll be meeting them.
Oh, yeah, when we go down for the D23 Expo. Yeah,
Yes.
I can't wait to see it. And to go on the Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout ride.
There's actually a lot since last year now to see and do. And I'm hoping Fantasmic will open, but I don't know if it will.
This is very cool. I do like the laser effects here. I think they did a great job with this show.
Well, Disney's all about the lasers now.
That's true. That is very true. All right, what are we looking at? Oh, I love it. It's Tom Hanks. So before you saw real Walt, and now it's Tom Hanks as Walt. You have 3 different types of Walts in this
Saving
show.
Mr. Banks.
That's right. That is right. And here is sort of a montage. There's Jack Skellington there, and I think we're about to see some Jessica. There's Jessica, yeah, or Roger and Jessica.
Right, and then I think we're going to see Mary Poppins next. Mm-hmm. It really is a terrific show. I think they did such a great job on the Chinese theater. So you do want to get there early and see it. Like when we went, the people behind us had no idea it was going to happen.
No idea.
But they wanted us to sit down, although we couldn't because I think they make everyone stand up. But we're like, we're not even staying for Star Wars.
Yeah,
we're
we
here
left
for this.
right after this.
And this is all we're here for.
But we gave them our spot, so everybody was happy.
Yes, it worked out for everybody.
So I really like this finale. You're going to see fireworks. And I didn't know at the time if there would be real fireworks just here or if it would just be projected fireworks. And at least for now, it turns out to be projected only fireworks.
Well, you get them with the Star Wars, so if you wait, then you get your fireworks there.
That's right. You will have plenty of real fireworks coming up. Anyway, we both highly recommend the show. It's a really great show in person, very nostalgic. Reminds me of the old days, Disney MGM Studio days. Now we're off to Disney's Animal Kingdom. We wanted to check out a little bit more of Pandora. This was the soft opening day. We found out Pandora was going to be open until about 2 o'clock. And look who we ran into. Governor Ratcliffe and his little friend here. Miko.
So this was a lot of fun. We weren't expecting them. We don't usually see them in the park, hardly ever. I don't remember the last time we saw them, actually. So
it was very fun. And I asked if they were friends, and they did not seem like they were friends at all. The governor gave a big thumbs down to Miko, so I got a big chuckle out of it. Look at I always enjoy the characters, and we'll have the actual full video of this meet and greet up. But again, this was outside the park, so you didn't even need a ticket to the park to see this. It was one of those surprise meet and greets, so I thought it was really cool. Anyway, here we are. We are going. They now have signs for Pandora, and of course Pandora has since opened. It is bedlam in the morning now, pandemonium. You could not do what we did here. This was probably the last day for a long time of a quiet and peaceful entrance into Pandora.
And it's funny, to me this felt pretty busy, but I guess compared to what it ended up being.
Yes, we have friends that were there for the first few days, and it was bedlam, I guess, is the words they used.
But we showed up last night, and we'll be showing some night photos and video from it.
Yeah, I mean, we tried. We had a thunderstorm kind of push us back to see it at night, but we finally did. Anyway, this was something new. It is the Drum Circle Show.
So this is something that plays, and I don't know how often, but it's quite. We've seen.
Seems
it
like it's every hour. I would guess it's about every hour.
It seems like it's a lot, and it's like a 15-minute show, and they come out here, and these are drums that you can normally, at least the ones on the bottom, that you can normally hit.
Right, and I did try that the first time we were in there because I thought maybe something happened if you hit them, sort of like the big plant at the entrance to the land, which has mist and all this stuff. But when you hit this drums, the only thing you get is drum sounds.
Oh.
So they are truly drums, kind of like in Africa at Epcot when people walk by and they're all playing the drums. But anyway, there is an interactive element here. As you can see, they're getting the other guests involved. This guy is learning to sort of play the drums, and they're going to hand out these maraca type things, and somebody's going to get a stick and they can shake the stick and it makes noise and all this. And I know personally for you think taking pictures is the participation for
Yes,
you, that I can
I'm
talk
not
for
doing
you.
it.
Poor Denise, I have to apologize once again. Poor Denise getting over a cold, and her voice is not as strong as normal today. So we apologize. We appreciate people hanging in there with us.
Yeah, I mean, it's at the end of it, and we're heading out of town tomorrow, so I have to. There's not like time
There's
to do
no
another
other time.
show.
It's now or never.
So anyway, the drum circle show we even saw last night. It was going at night. I mean, it goes just kind of all day. It seems like maybe every hour. I'm not sure even how many times.
Right, we were there from 9 to 11, and somehow I think I heard that thing 3 times. So I don't know. They must do it a lot. Anyway, here are some new things that we didn't see when we went to the pass holder preview. I kind of like this. These are little creatures from Pandora, and they make noises and they squirt you depending on where you walk. So this was new to me, new to us, this little pond here.
I don't think they were in there for the pass holder preview, is from what I understand.
Okay.
Is that they were placed in there afterwards.
I see. Well, that makes sense.
Yes.
Makes sense that it was new to us. But again, it was nice to be back during the day and not too crazy crowded of a day at that.
So you can see more of the, I don't know if you say flora and the fauna of Pandora. This isn't a land that I expect to spend tons and tons of time in. It's nice. I really like the mountainous areas and the waterfalls. I don't know what that is. Like it's some sort of creature.
It is a Pandorian creature.
I actually liked it a little bit more, I think, at night, although it was pretty busy.
So I like that they have the statue here. This is the same statue of the Navi that we met, or that we saw with Joe Rohde back at the D23 Expo about 2 years ago.
Right. It was 2 years ago. I mean, almost 2 years ago, because I think the next D23 is a little bit earlier this time. And that's coming up next month. So if you don't have your tickets yet, this is a good time to do that. But anyway, we did pose with her last time.
And it's nice that they have her in the store, so anybody can go up and check her out and get a picture and all that. And I know plenty of people were doing it. It's very hard to get into the store. There are big lines all day, even into the night. Even last night, we left right around 11 when it closed, and there was probably a 20-minute wait to get into the, is it Wind Jammers or Wind Trader? Wind Traders, right? Wind Traders. And you can buy a Banshee, and I found out there are 10 different colored Banshees. So for the small amount of only $500 at $50 each, we can get all 10 Banshees, not including the perch though.
It is, these are very, very popular, and we've seen guests with them in other parks.
Many. Now
Yes.
this is definitely new to us. It is much less crazy this day. This was again the soft opening day, the day before the 27th. So this was the 26th, and you can see there is a back entrance and exit to Pandora.
Right, and it's not always open. I don't think. I think it's only. I don't know how often they're going to have it open. But it's kind of interesting in that it's very plain. It's just like a boardwalk. It doesn't feel like it's in Africa. It doesn't feel like it's in Pandora. It just feels like you're at like Disney's Caribbean Beach Resort to me. on a boardwalk. So I just thought that was very interesting.
Well, I've seen that they've used it as an extended queue for Flight of Passage, so it does come in handy for that purpose when they run out of room. That Flight of Passage can really back up.
I just thought it was interesting that, I mean, you can see little bits where you're getting towards Pandora, but it really isn't that themed towards anything yet until you start heading really into Pandora, where you can see the lights and such now.
Well, I can tell you this. I tried this path briefly last night, and it's much more effective setting the mood with the lighting and the after dark effects. And, you're hearing more and more of the Pandora animals and sounds when you come in at night anyway.
I actually like it. It's a nice boardwalk. It's a nice path in. I just thought it was just very interesting that it didn't feel like you're even in Animal Kingdom necessarily. You're just on a boardwalk somewhere out in the forest or something.
Right. Well, it's like, it's a little different. I know the other land that we sort of compare this to would be Cars Land at Disney California Adventure, and they also have a back entrance to that. But that back entrance, to me, is the preferred way to enter.
It's beautiful.
When you walk through there and you see the Monument Valley for the first time, it is spectacular. And here you have trees in the way. If you saw the floating mountains when you came in through the back way, it would have a Cars Land type effect.
Or if you walked through them or something, it certainly would.
So now we're going to jump a few days ahead to last night, and this is nighttime bioluminescence. You'll hear a lot of bioluminescence, which kind of reminds us of glow-in-the-dark bowling.
No, well, I said golf or
Golf.
Spencer's Gifts. It's like when I was a kid and I'd go to Spencer's and you had the black light. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of black light here, and you'll see that when your shirt lights up, your sneakers light up, anything that you wear that can light up in black light will light
It brought
up.
back so many memories. I remember in the 70s I had a lot of black light posters growing up, and they had little felt on them. You can almost call it wall carpet. But I remember the black light fog. And they had, like, when we were walking around Pandora, I had the black light fog effect in my eye. So it was very very interesting. But all that being said, I loved it. I thought Pandora After Dark even better than during the day. It was really wonderful to me. I enjoyed walking through the pathways. It was very relaxing and calming, and I look forward to doing it again.
The plants glow, and it doesn't really, like, if you look ahead, it's actually pretty dark.
Right. Well, we're going to talk about that now. This is the main thing, the floating mountains here. And, this, and I actually enhanced this just a little. I bumped up the light about 10 so you can sort of see this a little better. But we're going to show you what it looks like with a long exposure photo, and then what it looks like. This is probably what it looks like in real life, depending on how you have your monitor set. So here it is, and then there's your photo enhanced, and you did a long exposure as well.
I did a 30-second exposure, and then Jeff enhanced it even further. So it looks incredible in photos, but this isn't what you're going to see when you walk into the land.
Right.
You need a long exposure, like you can see the stars, and that's not something you would normally get in a photo like that.
Right, but what is your opinion? Tell me, what do you think about nighttime at Pandora? We're going to talk all about it. This is just the tease, just a preview for the next show.
Well, we were only there for a little less than 2 hours. Mm-hmm. So, and that was mostly me going and photographing. So, I mean, it wasn't like I did it. I was just photographing with these long exposures, so that's what I was focused on. But I did like it at night. I thought it was interesting. I didn't hear that there was so much black light, and that's what the bioluminescence in the ground comes from. Mm-hmm. So I found that interesting. It was pretty, but I had hoped the mountains, the floating mountains,
were brighter.
Yes.
So do you like it at night better than the day?
Yes.
Okay, so there you go. That's a 2 thumbs up then. Anyway, believe it or not, I can't believe it, but that is another show.
That's another show.
And we're thankful that Denise's voice held out for the whole show, kind of. And we want to thank our sponsors, MEI Travel and Mouse Van Travel.
Yep. Check them out if you want to go to Pandora If you want to go to Disney's Hollywood Studios, which also has a Pixar show right now, I mean, they're doing a lot at Disney's Hollywood Studios, which is great considering so much construction is going on there.
Right. So when we get back, we're going on a travel conference in Washington, D.C. We're very excited. We look forward to that. It's the IPW conference. So we'll have some exciting stuff from there. But once we get back, we're going to go back to Hollywood Studios, check out the Pixar live show, and then there'll be much more from Pandora After Dark and whatever else comes up between now and then.
A lot going on.
As always. So everyone, thanks again for listening. Have a great week, and we'll see you all next week.
Have a great week.